No, really glad that you're here. And Kelly admittedly said she's probably going to geek out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm actually starstruck. And we meet a lot of people, but I was just such a huge fan, even before I knew how bold you were in your faith in God and how much you love God, because early on you showed the relationship you have with your sister and with your family, and I just really respect you and what you stand for.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I'm glad you're here because we've had so many people saying, when are you going to have Colton Dixon on camera?
Yeah, you people can stop asking now.
So finally you're here, and you've just signed a new record deal with EMI Records, and you have a new record coming out, and you're working on stuff and going to be performing some stuff for us today?
Yes. Man, the record will be out. I think the date is February 12th on that. So really excited about that, and actually just finishing recording this past weekend. So it's all just kind of falling into place.
How do you handle this whirlwind year that you've been through? Because you go from, life in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, to all of a sudden being on this huge stage, and not only a national stage, but a worldwide stage with a show like Idol.
And the most important thing is keeping friends and family really close, because they're really quick to humble you, and it actually is nice. My mom will be the first to humble me, and it's
like what does she do? I mean, like in the process of the show, when you were getting too big for your britches or whatever.
Whether it was signing autographs and getting careless with my signature or whatever it may be, it's just like she stands behind me and is like, "Was that really as good as you could?"
Oh,
it's like, really? Come on, Mom.
Leave me alone.
I can't read anyone's signatures anyway, but it's just stuff like that. It's awesome to have a close-knit family and great friends around me.
That's cool. Your mom was calling us, and every week she's like, vote for Colton.
Yeah, she was awesome. She was a rock star.
Cool.
She was
I heard you
great.
guys talking about that earlier.
You didn't even know that.
I didn't. I found that out today. So.
Well, we're glad that you're here, and we're excited about the new record. Is there a hope for you with this new record?
Man, I'm excited to finally get something out that I took part in writing. I've written pretty much everything on the record, so it's just exciting to kind of share what God's put me through, and what He's pulled me through with this record, and hopefully people can worship right alongside with me. So.
That's cool. Our guest today is American Idol star Colton Dixon. If you got any questions or comments, feel free to swing by the Scott and Kelly Facebook page. Your side. We're Scott and Kelly. Our guest today is American Idol star Colton Dixon, who just got off tour on the Whirlwind American Idol tour, which is pretty awesome.
It's crazy. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine if you get how many? Like the top 12
top
finalists?
10, actually.
Top 10 finalists.
Yeah, we went out. We had 47 dates.
Wow.
In the U.S., Canada, and Philippines. So it was a blast, but man, we completely skipped over summer.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's all a
We
blur.
got done and it was cold, and we were like, "What is going on?" It just kind of felt like we were out of time for a second. So.
Well, when you live on a bus for the months on end, I would imagine that kind of throws everything off.
Absolutely, you fall asleep in one city and wake up in another, and you're like, "Okay, where are we today?"
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That was probably the biggest question. So where are you? I don't know.
I was actually the first one that had to say, what's up, Sacramento.
Oh,
or
no.
wherever.
Right.
So before I walked on stage, I was like, okay, where are we again, and how do you pronounce this?
Did you ever get it wrong?
No.
Thank goodness.
Remember that Southwest Airlines commercial
Yes.
where they're like, they're in the wrong, they say the wrong city in the city that they're in. Yeah, you want to
Awkward
get
silence.
away.
Yeah.
That's great. That was almost me. So.
Did you have a particular difficulty with one city as far as pronunciation goes when you were out?
I can't even remember the name of the city, but there were a couple that was just like, there's a certain way to pronounce it, and everyone on the outside thought it was pronounced a certain way.
Right.
But you get in, and you're like, no, you got to say it this way to be cool and fit in. I'm like, okay, is that how you're really supposed to say it?
Yeah,
or
am I being punked?
You're trying to make me look like an idiot in front of all these people, So no one said anything, so I guess I did it right. But,
You didn't get booed. Yeah.
This is an exciting time for you. I mean, you start out as a worship leader at your church, and then all of a sudden you get all the exposure that you do in Idol. And how did the whole Idol thing come about? I mean, was there a point where you weren't even considering it? You went and actually were going there to support your sister? Is that how the whole thing started?
I'll try and make a long story short. My sister and I auditioned together season 10.
Yeah.
And I was willing to do it then, unlike this past season, but we made it right before the live shows and were cut. So my sister wanted to do it again. I wanted no part of it. I had been there, got the t-shirt, and was ready to move on. And,
Yeah.
But she wanted to go, so I wanted to go support her, and the judges remembered us both from the season before, and they drug me in, and somehow I winded up auditioning, and it was also kind of a blur. We both made it to Hollywood, and then I somehow got all the way to top 7. It was just total blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that was amazing to me is how both you and your sister handled that, because I think a lot of siblings, that would be kind of an awkward, tense thing, that you weren't even intending to audition, and then you ended up going on further than she did. But you guys just seem to really want to support one another all the way through, and not have that sibling rivalry that's so often there with siblings.
I'm lucky to have a very mature 17-year-old sister. But
Were there ever those moments, though, honestly, where she was like,
oh, yes.
dude, I can't...
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
There was a lot of TV editing there, that showed a sour face on her part. But I would have been pretty upset as well. It's your moment to shine, and then your sibling comes in and just kind of steps on your toes. But she did. She handled it so well, and she was there with my parents every night at the live shows in
That's
LA.
cool.
So it was great. It's great to have that support, and vice versa.
Now, is she singing background vocals? Did you throw her a bone and say, hey, come on, sis?
No, she is going to do her own thing.
Really? Good for
and
her.
I am really excited for her
That's
with
cool.
that. So she's got some good things in the works.
That's good.
Is she doing Idol again?
I cannot say.
Our guest today is American Idol star Colton Dixon. If you'd like to say hey, feel free, you can on the Scott and Kelly Facebook page, or tweet us at KLOVE Scott, at KLOVE Kelly, at Colton Dixon.
And live like that. We're Scott and Kelly, and our guest today is American Idol's Colton Dixon. So glad you're here today, and it's no secret I've been a fan since before I knew what a strong believer you are and how much you've represented for God, and that just made me even more of a fan. But I got to tell you, the night that you were eliminated, I think that was one of the most godly moments I've ever seen on TV. There was something that even, I would guess, in the room, there was obviously a presence of God there, because you could feel it through the TV. God did something through you that night.
I wish I could describe it better, but it was truly just worship between me and God on the stage. I saw it as an opportunity just to kind of give it all back to the rightful place, and I got on my knees and just kind of blocked everything else out, and most powerful worship I've ever been a part of.
It was so beautiful, because so often in that scenario, when they're doing the swan song, if you will, when contestants are leaving, it's very heartbreaking. They're devastated. The dream is lost, and I didn't sense any of that from you. It was very much, God, I'm just here to be used by you, and whatever's next is next, and it's okay.
Absolutely. That's, he gave me the opportunity out of thin air after not even wanting to audition.
Yeah.
So I just gave it all back to him and said, use whatever you can. I'm still standing here wanting to be used.
Yeah.
Well, that's refreshing, I think, because the temptation, I think, for any of us on a platform like American Idol or any type of platform, is going to be that temptation of thinking, oh, hey, look what I've accomplished. And yet you turn the tables on that whole attitude. And I would imagine that was, even for those who have been accustomed to this lifestyle for years and years and years, like Steven Tyler and J-Lo and Randy Jackson, was like, wow, this is special. It's unique.
It's easy to. You're right. It is very easy to fall into that temptation. You have people telling you what you want to hear all the time. And again, just going back to having friends and family there, they tell you what you need to hear. Yeah. It's so important. Again, it's just it's a matter of remembering where your priority system is. It's like I would much rather have God's plan for my life than my plan, because I know His is going to be so much better than mine.
Yeah.
So it's about giving it all up to Him and letting Him do His thing.
How did your mom handle all the attention you got from girls while you were on the show?
She actually thought it was hilarious.
Did she? Because I'm a mom of boys. There'd be a part of me that would want to be like, slap them around a little. She didn't have any of that in her, because I'm just saying.
I remember her seeing. There were several meet and greets in the course of a show, but after when we would go and get on the buses, my mom was there with me in Nashville, and I remember her seeing all these people lined up outside, and Nashville was closer to my hometown, so it was really my hometown show, so people went crazier than normal whenever I walked outside, and I remember my mom's eyes just going, holy cow. She started laughing. It was fun to see her, react to all that. It was just a good time.
Do you have a hard time now when you're in your hometown of Murfreesboro Hillsborough of going anywhere and not always having to be on, obviously, with all the attention you got on Idol?
I've invested in a couple hats.
I was going to say, because the hair is somewhat distinctive. You can't really blend.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, I might have to take the next level and get a mustache soon, but it's harder to go to the grocery store.
Can you grow a mustache?
Not a good one. No? I look like a major creeper with a mustache. I look like I should drive one of those white minivans. Man.
Colton Dixon, our guest from American Idol Season 11. We're going to have him sing live after this.
A pair of 10th Avenue North